Welcome in, guys, into my Steelers versus Lions Week 16 game reaction review. It's the 22nd as you've seen us today. A couple of days away from Christmas. When they get, looking at this game, I did say in the week, I did say that I hate playing it, especially, I thought this was on the road, but it was at home. I thought, but at home, we could, really have a go and really beat the the Steelers. But today's game, it was just really, in my opinion, we just played too one-dimensional. Like, yes, I know that this year we've played a lot of the run game. The run game has been great. It was great last year, it was good the year before. But again, we can play more than just one way. How about throwing in the air? Because I know, great running ball, but again, the game plan obviously from the Steelers, and you even heard Mike Tomlin. Like, it was half time and it was like 10-10. And the reporter says to Mike Tomlin, well, what's your strategy going into this? And he's like, yeah, we need to basically make sure that Jared Goff turns off the ball, which basically I said in the fucking preview. And, they come out of that, well, let's get into the first half. We'll get into that later on. But getting into this first half, and you could really see that the press coverage, the Steelers defense was really good. It was on par. It was a really good, they was grounded. Both like defenses wasn't too bad. I know that we only gave up 2 points in the first half, but the Steelers' defense was grounded. They knew what the fuck they was doing. You know, both like we had 2 field goals, and then it was like we fucking we, we're giving tons of room to guys like DK Metcalf and Kenneth Gainwell, who get that conversion before halftime. And then we're doing a blitz. It's a 3rd and 2nd going into the second half, and this is where Mike Tomlin came in, and he was saying about, we need to make sure that we put a lot of pressure on the offensive line and basically make sure Jared Goff can turn over the ball when he's under pressure, which again he can do. And we was in our own end zone, playing a 3rd and 2nd, and we was going for the blitz, and then ultimately Jared Goff doesn't get out of the pocket quick enough. Ultimately leads him to getting sacked by DK Metcalf, and then he goes over, celebrates with, he's there like touching a Lions fan's wig, and he's suspended for the next game, so whatever. But yeah, that ultimately gives the Steelers 2 points here to make it 12-10. And then, Jaylen Warren was, late on, and then it was Jaylen Warren, it was 2nd and 5. Jaylen Warren gets the conversion, makes it 21-10. And then, we have a great comeback here. It was 4th and 2, and Khalif Raymond, who again has been injured for a few weeks, came back for this game, gets us back in the game at 22-16, and then obviously with 22-17 with a conversion. But ultimately it didn't matter because Jaylen Warren again comes back. It's 1st and 10. And Metcalf, he is suspended for the next game. He was still playing for this game. He's blocking 2 of our defensive players, and Harper, who's on this side, should be blocking the outside. So Harper's here, Metcalf's blocking our 2 other defensive, 2 other people on the secondary, and then Harper's here, and he's just letting fucking Jaylen Warren go past for another conversion, and ultimately make it get the Steelers back in lead at 29-23. 29-17 at that point. And then we go back up the field, and this was the first time that Jahmyr Gibbs had any kind of room on the running game, because really all game, the defense, the Steelers secondary was pushing us back in the yardage. We gave up a couple of like silly penalties and fouls. It was whatever it was, but finally, like in the late on in the game, Jamar Gibbs comes alive, makes it 23-29. You think, oh, a bit of a comeback going on here, guys. And then obviously the conversion makes it 29-29, 29-24. And then it's like, the Steelers are dominating for 5 minutes, and Isaiah Tasker got us back in the game earlier. You look late on again, like for the last 5 minutes of the game, the Steelers were dominating really defensively and really in control of the game. And then, we're in the last couple of minutes of the last minute of the game. Here comes a great play from it was a great play. It was first and 10 from Jared Goff. Passes it to Amon St. Brown. And we think, yeah, great. 2 seconds left on the game. It's 30-29. We've scraped a fucking 6-point win. We got a 6-point win here, winning 29-30. And I'm like, shit, we went for the 6 points, and I'm thinking, great, we scraped and just got over the line. But ultimately, there was some sort of a penalty against Isaiah Tasker he was in another direction of another defensive player for the Steelers, and ultimately it was ruled out as a conversion. And then there was 22 seconds left on the clock. There was another flag. There was a flag thrown on the field, but then Jared Goff gets a touchdown anyway. But the timer ran out. And then all the refs are there and making a decision. Ultimately, the Steelers won the game 29-24. And, there was that graphic on the screen that somebody mentioned, like on Tony Romo mentioned on the commentary. It's like, yeah, Mike Tomlin, when the Steelers have been leading in the fourth quarter, they've never lost a game when they've led in the fourth quarter. So ultimately, then you knew shit was gonna happen. But yeah, it was once again the offensive line let us down today. Jared Goff wasn't the best. The Steelers weren't the best, to be honest. Defensively, they were good, really good. They was good defensively, but I feel like offensively, you're letting 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers, dominate you. And you're giving him a shit ton of. This is 40-year-old fucking Aaron Rodgers. We should be having multiple fucking defense. We should be having Jack Campbell and all these other guys who aren't this fucking young prospects in Aaron Rodgers. You got a ton of people. Jared Goff. You had Aaron Rodgers throw for 200 or something yards, passing yards. What the fuck are we doing here? Come on. And then Maddox is now injured, and then Thomas had to come in, but we're 8-7 now, and playoffs are. I even said after the Rams game, the playoffs were done. They're absolutely done after this game. We got the Vikings next on Christmas Day. Yay! So let's spend Christmas Day watching the fucking Lions. Hopefully we beat the fucking Vikings because they have nothing to play for. But yeah, we're 8-7 right now. And then the last game of the season we have Bears football, who are 11-4 as it currently stands in the NFC North, and are gonna win the division this year, unfortunately. But yeah, just get the season over with. 2 more games left. Roll on, guys.